Broadcasting Network.
43-time 20-goal scorer goes to the net. Right down the slot. It's Vince done and he scores. Going back to last season, Pasternak. 61 goals. In his last 83 games, it's his one-timer. Finds the back of the net. Through center on the goal. Ovechkin has it in neutral towards the empty cage. He scores again. Alex Ovechkin was closer to 800. Who's the try now? It's a 3-on-2 for the Stars. One down. Carries up the try. And they score! Where's Denny went to the net. Redirects it. A short-handed goal makes it 4-1 Dallas. That will not make the coach happy.
What the puck is going on?
All right, welcome in to the studio, deep in studio. Happy Wednesday to everybody. What the puck is going on? I'm nephew Dave in the studio again. Uncle Steve is with me, so always a treat when we can get together here and talk a little hockey. Steve, what's going on?
Nothing much, nephew Dave. We got a good little slate of games tonight after an action-packed Tuesday night. So we'll see what we can find.
Yeah, definitely. We're a little spoiled this week, Steve. Every day has been at least had numerous games. Most of them pretty good, and I think tonight we have a couple good ones as well. 6 games on the slate tonight, so we'll jump into that, and we'll finish with some futures as always. Those numbers right now are just, they're all over the place, going back and forth, so I think we can definitely find some values. I think Steve can definitely have a little input there.
Yeah, I mean, we jumped on a few already.
Yeah.
Figured that we're priced in with some of the numbers that we see, like Winnipeg, for example, on the Jets. I mean, they're paying 16-1 now or something like that to win the division. And they're right there in the mix. They're only 3 points back. So it's not like you're asking a lot to happen. They do have to leapfrog 3 teams. It helps that the Avalanche are the favorite at this point. But, man, you can't write them off.
No,
like
not
that.
at all. And speaking of, Steve, if you I don't know if you know this, but speaking of the Colorado Avalanche, they just acquired Lars Eller from the Washington Capitals today.
Oh, wow. All right. The Capitals making all kinds of maneuvers. Yeah, we haven't I've been a little rusty on the trade deadline. In fact, I got it right here. Want me to see what we have that popped up for today? March 1st. Yeah, we have actually 4 trades. You talked about Lars Eller, right? In exchange for a second-round pick. Well, how about this? We talked about it last night with the Kings and their goalie situation. Jonathan Quick is out. He goes to the Columbus Blue Jackets. So the backup guy, we said it. We said that he may be the guy now in net because he's been playing so well. And sure enough, there he is. That's man, what's his name? Let me get back to that.
I believe they got Korpisalo in return, which is if they're going to start Copley, I think that's a pretty good return. But I will say this: I don't think I didn't. I don't think anybody saw that Jonathan Quick trade coming at all.
Oh man, I mean that's just insane. Let's see. Yeah, I mean the Kings do win last night in the shootout, 6-5. So it's not like they were not allowing goals, but yeah, Quick is out of there. What else do we have? We got a couple other trades. Let me action is hot and heavy here as we enter March 1st, nephew Dave. How about that?
Yes.
Vancouver Canucks. They acquire a player from the Red Wings, just a defenseman. Nothing major there. And that's it, 3 trades. So the Jonathan Quick, Lars Eller, and here it is. This is actually pretty good too. The Hurricanes get defenseman Shane Gostisbehere from the Coyotes. So that's actually a decent player, and that's going to help the Hurricanes out as well too. And they're in action tonight.
Yeah, definitely. So, Steve, a lot of trades going on. Things are getting pretty wild here. Trade deadline is 3 p.m. on Friday, so you can expect maybe even a little bit more tonight, some tomorrow, and you will definitely see 1 or 2 on Friday. And I don't think the Capitals are done either. So we'll keep an eye on that as things progress there. All right, Steve, let's go ahead and jump right into it here. We're going to start off with the New York Rangers traveling to Philly to play the Flyers. And I don't know. My initial thought here is the Rangers, the much better team, and they just, acquired Patrick Kane from the Blackhawks. So there is weapons all across the board here in New York. And that's the thing I was going to say about the trade deadline, Steve, is this is going to make for some pretty good playoff hockey. I mean, you got Boston, New York, and now the Carolina Hurricanes picking up players. I mean, it's gonna get feisty in the playoffs. I'm really looking forward to
Yeah,
that.
I mean, the Rangers themselves, I mean, they acquired Patrick Kane. He won't be in the lineup tonight, just so you know.
Right.
He'll be out at least until the next game. You figure you'll get to see him. Lindgren continues to be on the injured list as he's listed day to day. But besides that, the Rangers healthy, and that's right where they want to be. And Patrick Kane, new life in the Big Apple.
Yeah, so we'll keep an eye on all that. That's going to make for a very entertaining playoff hockey. So back to this game, Steve. My initial thought here, with even though he's not playing tonight, still a lot of weapons here for the Rangers. Philly really not having the greatest year. I wouldn't be scared to take a puck line play here, and I believe I did actually already. I did, and I took that to – I even moved that, Steve. I went to -2.5. I don't see any reason why the New York Rangers can't win this game by 3 or more goals. We expect them, to score 3 or 4 anyway. We'll see if, maybe Philly kind of ruins our cause there. But I picked that -2.5 up at +200. So it's not the biggest number for that like you would usually see. I think that number would usually be a little bit higher if it was any other kind of puck line. But it is a +200 price, and I don't see a reason why New York can't kind of throttle the Flyers here. Now, I mean, we have said that, and then the other, the exact opposite happens, but that'll happen. I mean, you can't, take it all in stone. So I don't know, Steve. You had a couple angles at this. What are you thinking here?
So the Rangers, third place in their division. I think we said it about 10 games ago. We said, well, look out, the Rangers may be a team that can actually take a run, gain some ground in the Metro and perhaps win that division. They're getting a really good number to win that division now. The fact is they've gone 6-3-1 in their last 10, which is decent. But New Jersey's gone 7-2-1, and Carolina has gone 8-2. So the Rangers have actually lost ground now. They trail by 9 points to Carolina, which isn't insurmountable. They can still get that. Carolina with a tough game tonight. New Jersey with a tough game tonight. So the Rangers can actually gain ground tonight. And if you think Carolina and New Jersey can lose on the road, I would say go ahead and take that big Rangers future number that you're getting. And just because I'm talking about it, Dave, let me just pull it up real quick.
All right.
I know we're getting to the futures later, right? But right now, the Rangers to win the Metro are at +2,400. So 9 points back. Figure if New Jersey and Carolina can both lose, the Rangers can beat Philly. They're only 7 points back. They're going to have some head-to-heads as well to be able to make up ground. So 24-1 odds on the Rangers. I would not chalk that up as a loss at all. In fact, that's a buy-on number for sure right now. If you want to take a long shot, someone's bound to take a run. But New Jersey and Carolina just haven't given it up at all, either one of them. So they're fighting hard. Let's see. Philly, they definitely have some injury concerns here. Tanner Lazinski is out. Travis Konechny is out. These players are out at least a week. Sean Cartier out. Zach McEwen, Cam Atkinson done for the season. Ryan Ellis done for the season. So Philadelphia comes in banged up. completely. We talked about the numbers on the Rangers. If you look at Philadelphia, and they were kind of up there, kind of fighting for a playoff spot a little bit there, Dave, but they have regressed completely. 2-7-1 now in their last 10. They've lost 3 in a row, minus 41 on the puck on the goal differential for them. And if we look at the game tonight, and we're going to look at the goalies, let's just see what we've got now. We have Shesterkin in there and Carter Hart. And let's just take a look at how bad Carter Hart has been. Do you remember? Do you just remember when he was like his first year? I guess he was a rookie. He was good.
He was,
and he was touted.
He really was.
Just very well, and just ever since then, it has been like a slow bludgeoning death as far as the way he's done things. And I keep thinking this is a Thursday. That's how I've done enough work in 3 days to make it feel like 4 days for sure, nephew Dave. But Carter Hart, 16 and 19 overall, 9 overtime losses, and actually not the worst goals against average at 2.94. So actually, this might be one of his better seasons, even if you put it in perspective like that. 0.908 save percentage. Shesterkin, 26, 10, and 7. He does have 1 shutout to his credit. You would think he would have more than that, right? 2.65. He is due for a shutout. And if you look at that prop tonight, you're getting plus 860 for Igor Shesterkin shutout against a Flyer team who's been completely reeling. I think you might want to take a stab at that, Dave, to be honest.
I think you could.
And we pick and choose those very rarely on this show because there just aren't shutouts in the NHL now.
Not many.
You just don't see them, and the prices aren't paying good enough. But in this spot, Shesterkin could get a shutout. I'm going to expect the Rangers to score. You like the puck line. I'll just trust them to get over 3.5 team goals. I see that on my page as over 3.5 is a nice minus 106. So I'll be priced in on that for sure, I think.
There you go. I like that number, Steve. I think that's probably about fair. So, all right, let's move on to this one. The Toronto Maple Leafs are in Edmonton to play the Oilers. This is an 8 p.m. puck drop. But, Steve, we talked about this a little bit. That's a weird time for the Edmonton time zone. I believe that would be, 4 p.m. over there, I think. Or 3 hours behind. So, yeah, maybe 5 o'clock.
I'm going to try to get some intel on that. Let me see what I can figure out why.
All right. But anyway, these are two teams that are certainly capable of putting up points. The over-under is at 7. So your over is going to pay plus 100 and your under is minus 120. I myself, and I've already done it, so no turning back now, but I am going to play this over. It's at plus 100. I think this is a game certainly capable of a shootout between these two teams. So we're going to take a chance there on that.
Toronto's been a machine lately on offense. They might be the best offensive team in the NHL.
They can score. They can score.
If you've been paying attention closely to the scores lately, some of the usual suspects for scoring aren't quite getting there sometimes, like Boston might just get 3 goals, etc. But Toronto is putting the puck in the back of the net. Oh,
that's for sure. And in this kind of games, Steve, I think you could even play, this could be maybe a 1-goal game or a 2-goal game. So I think you could probably play, if you wanted to take maybe a little bit more risky of a play to get your values, either team to win by 2 goals is at plus 750. If the game is tight, which I think it's certainly capable of, that empty netter might hit you some good values.
Or 2 empty netters. We've seen a lot of teams get 2 empty netters this year, Dave, for sure.
Absolutely. So, Yeah, and then, to win by 1 is, plus 290 for the Leafs, plus 295 for the Oilers. But I don't know if I'm, like I said, if I'm going to take kind of a risky, different play, something a little different out of this game, we're expecting goals. So I don't know, Steve, to win by 2 might be something to kind of pull me in there.
Toronto, Matt Murray's the main one you see on the injury list here. He'll be out just a few days. No one really else to note who hasn't been out long term. Let's see here for Edmonton. Let's get caught up on them. Ryan Murray out, back injury. He'll be out a couple weeks. Evander Kane still dealing with an upper body injury. He's out day to day. Really is how this goes right now. Mike Smith and Clefbaum both gone for the season, but we've known about them since September. If we go to what these teams are doing, and this will tell you the prolific offenses. 207 goals scored now for Toronto. They're a plus 49 goal differential. Nice defensively, too. Only 158 scored against them. 14-9-4 on the road. They have won 3 in a row, 7-3 over that 10-game stretch. Edmonton can score, man, but they can put up some duds, too, can't they? Just 14-12-5 at home is Edmonton, so 5 overtime losses at home, 18-9-3 on the road. They have lost 2 in a row, 3-3-4 in their last 10. They've given up 204 goals. That's their main issue. They've scored 232. These are 2 big offensive teams tonight. So that over 7, I mean, I know everyone hates the 7s, but, I mean, there could be 10 goals in this game. This could be a 6-5 for sure. I'm going to just to trust Toronto since we have a shaky defense for sure on the side of Edmonton, knowing that Edmonton will probably get their goals one way or another either. But I'm going to say that Toronto is good for 4, only because that's been the case. They've been the most trustworthy team in that aspect. And you're getting plus 104 at over 3.5. So you're getting a little plus side money back on over Toronto Maple Leaf goals at Edmonton with the early start on a Wednesday, March 1st. And I have no idea why, because the internet's not telling me why.
I think that's a 5 p.m.
It's a mountain time. So it's a mountain time. It's a mountain time, 6 o'clock start is what they said here. Is that right? That can't be right.
No.
So 8 o'clock is East. 7 o'clock is Central. 6 o'clock is Mountain.
Right.
And 5 o'clock is Pacific.
Right.
Okay, yeah. So 6 o'clock is their local time. Somehow Edmonton's in the Mountain time range, I guess.
Oh,
maybe that's
really?
just
Okay.
Well, that might be the television throwing me off for a loop. Let me just make sure I'm not sounding like a complete idiot. Like our joke last night, Dave, when I texted nephew Dave, what the hell is going on with hockey? 5 minutes after the game started, as Florida was up 3-0 on Tampa Bay, and Buffalo was in a hole themselves. And nephew Dave replied, "We look like assholes." But we were right with our unders and everything else.
Yeah, we had a couple.
Those 2 favorites did not get there at all. The Edmonton time zone. See, this is good education. They are Mountain Standard Time.
Interesting.
Alberta, Canada.
Interesting.
So there's your geography lesson for today.
All right, so we got our geography lesson. We're thinking goals. Let's move on here. Now, this one, Steve, I don't know. It's probably not the more interesting game of the night, but I did make a play on it. I believe Arizona is on the back end of a back-to-back. I think they played last night.
I'm sorry, Dave. Samsonov in goal for Toronto. No goalie listed for Edmonton.
Right. So I think Arizona is on the back end of a back-to-back. They're in Dallas to play the Stars. They did win last night, but I'll tell you what, Steve. The only thing that I really found in this, and I have a feeling this could be a possible no play from you, but I want to put this out there. I took the Arizona Coyotes over 1.5 team total goals, and it's at minus 155. I don't think that's really too bad for that. I think Arizona can squeak out 2 goals. Dallas, depends who's in goal for them.
I'll get that right now. Let's see.
Yeah, it's okay. It's Ottinger again for them.
Yes, and Connor Ingram for Arizona.
Yep.
So different goalie for them than last night.
So I don't know, Steve. I think 2 is possible for them. I really do like Ottinger, though. I've said it a few times here on the show. He's a young guy, up and comer for sure, and he can play pretty well at times. So I don't like the 3 or 4 number for Arizona, but I think this could be one of those 3-2 type games where it's grinding it out. Dallas hasn't been playing great lately either, so with that price being attached to the 1.5, I think that's probably the better play to come out of this game, in my eyes. So I don't know, Steve. What do you think here?
I mean, you hit on it. Dallas has been shaky lately. They've only scored 4 goals once in their last 5 games. They're 3-4 in their last 10. They did lose in overtime their last time out. We've been waiting for some cracks in the armor of Dallas. The Stars, who've been right there at the top of the Central all year, they haven't conceded the division yet, but they are right there on top still at plus 36. Look at Minnesota Wild sneaking all the way up there. We said keep an eye out for them too, as this Central is packed now at this point, with Dallas, Minnesota, Colorado, and Winnipeg right there bunched together. The Stars 15-8-8 at home. If we look at the Arizona numbers, they're not going to be super impressive. Minus 48 goal differential as they've given up 212 goals. But they are 5-2-3 in their last 10. So they have some wins in there, and they are forcing overtime. But yeah, Dallas taking a little bit of a stumble here. And every team in this kind of long season, you're not going to do what the Bruins are doing and just kind of win emphatically throughout. But Dallas, they haven't conceded the division yet, but you get the feeling that they might be kind of, you know what this is? I mean, this is a test of their fortitude. And
Absolutely.
I mean, they have a strong team. And here's the thing. If Dallas holds off and won in this division and wins this division, then they're going to be a nice bet for the Stanley Cup.
Absolutely.
I think you can, because they're getting battle tested now, and that's going to pay off come playoff time. I just have a feeling that would be the case.
I couldn't agree more, Steve.
But as far as this game goes, yeah, I like your over 1.5 goals because Ottinger's he's slid back just a hair. We'll take a look at the numbers on the goalies overall. If I pull up the Stars and the Coyotes, Ingram 5-12-4 overall, 3.30 goals against, and Ottinger 24-8-10. Just those overtime losses, maybe just a few too many. If they could have grabbed a few of those. But how about this? We talked about the shutout being rare. Ottinger does have 4 shutouts and 2.30 goals against average. His save percentage, as good as it gets, right there, .923. To be honest, I don't know, Dave. I mean, and that tells me there may be a shutout if it's the over/under is just 1.5 goals for Arizona. But Jake Ottinger plus 770 on a shutout tonight. How about that if you parlay that with Shesterkin? Let's just see what that pays off. Interesting on a double goalie shutout. Shesterkin and Ottinger both to have shutouts tonight. $10 wins you $850.
There you go. It's a little bit of a different angle there, Steve. We're giving the goalies some love tonight. I like it. All right, so not much to be thought of there. We're going to take a shot with Arizona. And I'll tell you what, Steve, I don't know. I've played Arizona just a couple times throughout the season. But, they really haven't screwed me all that bad. So I don't know if I can say the same for you if you've played them at all.
It's not like I play a lot of hockey completely anyway. It just
Right.
is a dabble. But usually the bottom feeders I'm playing against rather than playing.
Right.
Once in a while, though, you are just offered too good of a number. You even cash nice. You might not have cashed, but at least you had the Anaheim call against the Capitals.
Yep.
In that one. I think that was a weekend game. Was that a weekend game? So we weren't on the air for that one.
No, we weren't, no.
But yes, Nephew Dave said, watch out for Anaheim here. And they paid a big number, too.
Oh, it was plus 275, I think it was. And they won that game 4-2. So it tells you what kind of things can happen.
The alternate puck line was like plus 450.
Yeah, it was nuts. All right, Steve. So here's one. Now, this is sure to be a good game. I am having trouble finding an angle here, but we're going to find it. Rest assured, we will find it. The New Jersey Devils at the Colorado Avalanche. So, Steve, I want to start off with you on this one to see if you're thinking kind of what I'm thinking. I'm maybe pushing towards an over. A lot of firepower again here, but I'd like to see what you're thinking on this one as well.
Well, I mean, if you look at the slate tonight, you have 3 potential Stanley Cup matchups going on, to be honest, and this is one of them with the Devils and the Avalanche. I really haven't put too much thought into this. It's an even line for the most part, with Colorado laying $1.15 or less, minus 105 for the Devils. Colorado is the hot team, right? They are 6 in a row winners, 7-1-2 in their last 10. They now scored 185 goals, a plus 28 goal differential. New Jersey, we talked about how good they've been, 7-2-1 in their last 10. They've won 2 in a row, 208 goals scored, a plus 51 goal differential. Very good on the road, 21-4-3 are the New Jersey Devils on the road. Injury-wise, if we look at this, Colorado is still banged up is the problem. Keon McCarr, concussion still. Curtis McDermott, concussion still. Darren Helm out for another week. Eric Johnson out for 2 weeks. Pavel Francouz out till another week. And Gabriel Landeskog out for a couple weeks as well. The Devils are the team that's going to be less injured for sure. Jonathan Bernier, still missing him, and he'll be out another week. Mackenzie Blackwood out another week. And Timo Meyer should be back sooner than that, they hope. It's a tough one, Dave.
It really
the
is,
altitude, New Jersey might not be used to that too. This is a pass for me. And since I put in my futures with the Winnipeg Jets, I did a little division winner round robin. I threw New Jersey in there too because they're getting paid 3-1, trailing Carolina in that race for that division. Let's see here. If I go to it, just because I'm on it again, I'll give you the information as we're talking about it here. The Devils to win the Metro are 3-1 odds, and they're right there. They're not far back, just 3 points back of first place in the Metro.
There you go. So yeah, Steve, this is a tough one here. I'm gonna have to because I might like to watch some of this game because I think it's gonna be definitely a good game to watch. So I'm gonna need a little bit more time there. So I'm gonna go ahead and pass on this as well. I don't really like either straight up money lines, but you do get plus 150 for the Devils and plus 135 for the Avalanche. So maybe you do something on the 60-minute line here if you want to try and get some plus money out of it. But otherwise, it's a pretty tough game to know.
I think it has all the feels of a playoff game, to be honest.
And it could be OT, and if you're thinking that on a 60-minute line, the draw is actually plus 320.
I could see this being 2-2 going overtime.
Yeah, absolutely. So you get plus 320 for that.
I don't think that's a bad bet. That might be the best bet on the board. And Dave, in fact, you gave me even a better idea at this point. We're talking about obscure different angles. We talked about all of these potential matchups on the three-way. You could take overtime for all three of these games, right?
Oh, yeah.
Toronto, Edmonton, New Jersey, and Colorado, Carolina, and the Golden Knights. And hell, for shits and giggles, you could probably throw in the Capitals and the Ducks in that overtime
Yeah.
mix as well, because that kind of has all the smells of an overtime scenario. Carry on, Dave, but I'll go ahead and pull up that kind of ticket up and see what it pays.
Yeah, go ahead and do that. I hope that the Capitals can win in regulation. And if they go to overtime, Steve, they're gonna make me stay up pretty late, man. I got to work tomorrow. But we'll see what happens there. We're gonna get to that game. But yeah, I'm thinking maybe I'll do something with the draw there. Hopefully, see a little bit of overtime. So next game up, Steve, this is a little bit of a tough one too. We're moving right along though. We have this one, and then we'll finish up with our boys. So Carolina Hurricanes at the Vegas Golden Knights. The over-under here, Steve, this is interesting for two teams that can light a lamp. The over is 5.5. How about that?
That is interesting. I didn't even think about that angle.
Oh, and you know what? I'm going to do a live update. The Senators have acquired Jacob Chicharin from the Coyotes for 3 draft picks.
Ah.
So
What's that rate again?
the Senators.
Oh, the Ottawa. Okay. Yeah. So Ottawa with a big win last night. Again, we talked about them. Watch out for Ottawa.
They might be trying to make a push.
They're charging. They are definitely charging, I'd say.
And there was rumored the Capitals were also looking at Chicharin, but they went a different way, picking up the D-man from Toronto just the other day. So there we go. Interesting. Nice to have a little bit of live action there on the show. So, all right. The over here, over 5.5, minus 120, under 5.5, plus 100. I'll tell you what, this is 5.5. This has me written all over it. I am going to go ahead and fire away on that over, Steve. Both of these teams are certainly capable of making that happen. I'm sure you can break that down for us, but you don't really see them at 5.5 anymore. So when you do, I think you always have a better chance to drive those home. So with that being said, I'm going to go ahead and take that. And what do you think, Steve?
Give me some overtime. All right, Dave, how about this? So all 4 of these games to go to overtime. Toronto, Edmonton, Devils, Colorado, Washington, Anaheim, and the game we'll talk about next, Carolina and Vegas. Each one is paying between $310 and $340. If you invest $26, you put $1 on the 2-game parlays, then you can win basically $15 if two of them hit. All right, so you'll kind of get most of your money back, not quite. It'll take a small loss, but if 3 of the 4 hit, then you're going to win $300. If all 4 hit, you'll win $2,500 off $26. So there you go. If you think lots of overtimes in these, hey, I could see actually all that honestly happening.
The round robin style, right?
The round robin overtime. The round robin overtime special. How about that?
We like it. So yeah, Steve. Other than that, let's see here. Looks like Aiden Hill and Frederick Anderson in goal tonight. Aiden Hill for the Knights, Anderson for the Canes. I don't know. I'm gonna take away the 5.5 and play that. Hopefully a 6-goal game, 7-goal game would be even better. But I don't know, Steve. Canes, Knights, you got to play?
It's just a good game. I think Carolina's the better team, to be honest.
I do too.
So I would actually, that's probably the better bet of everything instead of overtime. But, Vegas does have that nice atmosphere. Minus 144, though. I think you just keep it on Carolina. We've been trying to fade Vegas the whole time here. Carolina 8-2 in their last 10, so they're officially on fire. As we mentioned, the Rangers have not gained any ground on them. The Devils unable to gain ground. In fact, they've lost a little bit of ground. Carolina plus 47 with the goal differential, 198 goals scored. Vegas, so 6-1-3. You know, I would keep saying we want to fade them, but they do keep winning. But plus 23 on their goal differential. They scored 192, only allowed 169. I mean, really, those stats aren't too close, but Vegas has given up a little bit more net-wise. What do we have? Yeah, Anderson and Hill, right? So Anderson and Hill, if we look at them, Anderson, former Norfolk Admiral, by the way, right? Frederick Anderson.
I believe so.
Yep. I've seen him play many a times, actually, when I bartended there. Let's see. Hurricanes and the Knights. Anderson, 14-5, 2.47 goal against average, 0.905 save percentage. Man, him and Ranta, nice season. What a duo those two have been. And Hill is 14-6-1, 2.52 goals against, 0.912 save percentage. In fact, all these goalies on all these sides, Hurricanes and Golden Knights, talking about Ranta, Anderson, and then for the Knights, Thompson, Hill, and Brossois. Is that it?
Brossois.
Yeah. All excellent save percentages and goals against averages.
Yeah, so good goaltending.
So maybe an under, maybe a four-way under on all these overtime. games.
Oh, there you go. All right, going to the under there. All right, Steve. So that's what we're thinking there. Let's go ahead. We're on to the last game of the evening. We saved the best for last in our hearts. The Washington Capitals at the Anaheim Ducks tonight. We remember what happened just about a week ago. Minus 200 for the Caps on the money line. The Ducks plus 170. So the number not as good as last time, but still a pretty good number if we think that the same thing might happen. This is the year, the Capitals we talked about. They're retooling. They're told Ovechkin long ago that there will be no complete rebuild while he is still on contract and playing for the Caps. So they are retooling on the fly. They're getting draft picks for this year, next year.
Yeah, they just need to get younger.
Yeah,
and hopefully their pieces can hold them together.
So they're getting some stock back. They're going to pick up some guys and they're going to retool. I think the consensus is the playoffs are. You wouldn't kind of think it by the standings, but if you've watched the play at all, I think the general consensus with the Capitals is the playoffs are probably not happening this year. So go ahead and sell these guys that are all unrestricted free agents at the end of the year anyway. Let's get some return for them, kind of retool and hit the ground running with everybody healthy next year, and try to be the team that we thought we would see more of this year. Just really hasn't happened. But I'll tell you what, Steve, I've been thinking about this, and I'm going to go with a player prop in this game. Alex Ovechkin, he is on a little bit of a dry spell, but you got to imagine that's not going to last long. Last game, he was peppering the net. He was trying. None of them got behind the goalie, but he had his shots on goal. So what I'm going to do with this, Steve, is I'm going to take Alex Ovechkin for over 4.5 shots on goal tonight at a minus 125. He's due. He's going to, be in his office. He's going to get shots on goal. It's definitely not unheard of him getting, 5 to 7 shots on goal. So I'm going to go ahead and ride this one. I wanted to take him for goal scoring, but it was at a -110. And I think if you go by way of shots on goal, you have a little bit better of an opportunity. Even if that goal, doesn't happen, he's still getting the shots. So I'm going to take a prop on him here. And, I don't like to go one way or the other, really. I did the other week, but because I knew they were really struggling. But to kind of, just keep it mellow, I guess, so to speak, OV for 4.5 on goal. Steve, Caps, Ducks, what are you thinking?
So I'm looking at Ovechkin. That now that you said all that, I mean, you're right. Ovechkin at -110 for a goal sounds pretty good to me, to be honest. Plus 750 for the first goal scorer. I could see that. 2 or more goals is plus 430 tonight. The hat trick is 15-1. And you thought he'd come out and have a real high scoring game, a la Brett Favre style on Monday night against the Raiders. After his dad passed away, you think he was going to light it up, but that just hadn't happened. The Ducks give up. Again, they give up a ton of goals. They are -96 on their goal differential. They haven't quite gotten to 100 yet. In fact, they were -98 and kind of came back to the pack a hair. But winners of 3 in a row are Anaheim. So they have that going for them. 4-5-1 in their last 10. Washington, yeah, what the heck has happened to them? 3-7 in their last 10. Road team just about even at 14-14-3. And just a +1, 188 scored, 187 against. I mean, the push needs to start now, right?
Oh, it has to. It has to, or the playoffs are definitely not happening. Like I said, I think they're going to take this opportunity, kind of a little bit of a broken season, to retool. But if they're going to make a push, Steve, it has to be now, and there cannot be much more losing from them.
So Anaheim very banged up. Drysdale, Klingsberg, Stolars, Kulikov, Vakananen, all out for at least a week. Also, Adam Henrik out for a week as well. He's added on there. Washington, they've traded away all their role players, it seems like. But they did recall Alexei Protas. Do you like him?
Yeah, he plays hard. Yeah, he does. I like him. He'll probably be on the roster next season full time.
Also, they're missing Sandin, Kuznetsov, Carlson, Hagelin, Brown. Really, it's up to Backstrom.
Right.
It's up to Ovi, and it's up to Tom Wilson to really get the job done at this point against Anaheim. And I don't know. Anaheim's got a little bit of tweak going to him. This smells like an overtime game, Dave.
It could be, Steve. It could be.
You want to hope the Caps are better than the Ducks, but just the injuries and the trades. I mean, what they haven't recalled anyone on the transaction wire besides Protas either. So I feel like they'll be short-handed, but we'll see.
And also, you might see some younger guys getting some opportunities,
more ice time,
to kind of scope out and see what we have in-house for next season. Will to be determined on how much cap space they have come into the year. But, if we can kind of keep things in-house and make maybe a little bit of a big splash kind of signing for next year, we'll see if that happens, if they have any money to play around with.
They still have Lars Eller listed as a goal scorer. I guess they need to update that, huh?
Yeah, they would. Yep, they do.
Do not bet plus 470 on Lars Eller to score a goal tonight for one.
Don't do it. All right, Steve, that's the slate here. Let's go ahead and get into a little bit of future. We'll look at that real quick. Why does this do this? Okay, here we go. Sometimes the layouts here can be really funny on these books. All right, Steve. Team futures. We'll go into the division. The Metro, Devils plus 360. Rangers there now at 20-1. But like you said, it could happen for sure. But they're going to need Carolina to kind of falter. And I'll be honest, Steve, I don't really see that happening. So anything really to throw into the Metro, or do we kind of have a good?
Yeah, I mean, I bought into New Jersey only because I think you're getting a decent number at 3-1, just trailing by 3 points.
Right.
Someone gets injuries down the stretch. There you go. I mentioned the Rangers too. I mean, that's such a big number. If you just wanted to put some pizza money on it, I mean, I can't fault you there. So no, not and I said it, I think, too, last week. I mean, Carolina will hold everyone off. We've had this discussion.
Yeah.
But here I am taking New Jersey. Just trying to find someone who has a fighter's chance, a puncher's shot. And the Devils still have that, at least.
I think so, yeah, for sure.
But yes, Carolina looks like a class, and I think you picked them to win the East in the NHL. So they're well on their way to doing that.
Right. Here in the Central, we have the Avalanche have now gone to minus 145. Dallas at plus 180. Minnesota at plus 850. And Winnipeg there at 25-1. I'm going to still stick to my guns here. Winnipeg did lose to the Kings last night. That was a pretty wild game. I watched the last couple minutes and then overtime. So they get a point out of it, but at 25-1, Steve, that's kind of the team I've been talking about in the Central. So I feel like I kind of have to ride that one out. I think it's still pretty possible.
So you see them 25-1 on your book to win the Central?
Yep.
Oh man, that's a much better number than the 14-1 I played.
Yeah.
What do you have Minnesota at?
Plus 850.
Okay, I see plus 800. Interesting. Okay.
So what do you think? You said you already did a little something with it.
Yeah, I mean the Winnipeg's just only 3 points back. I mean they're not. Let me make sure I'm saying that right. Maybe they're 5 points back. Let me get to the. No, they're right there. Yeah, they have 72 points, and they trailed Dallas by 3. You're priced in that number, and you'll have to give me that book off the air because I might have to go to play at that one.
Yes. Definitely.
But Minnesota has a nice price too attached to them,
right?
And they're 1 point back. They're literally 1 point back of Dallas. And Dallas is falling apart. Literally, they're saying Colorado is going to win this division.
That's exactly what
I'm not convinced that's the case.
I'm not sold on it either myself. I don't have the Atlantic on here for whatever reason for divisions. I guess they're assuming we don't need to know that. I kind of side with them there. I think Boston's got that pretty.
They got Boston. I got Boston at right now. If you want to win $100 on Boston, you got to risk $30,000.
Yeah, not happening.
But you're getting 500-1 on Tampa and 500-1 on Toronto.
Interesting.
But yeah, the Boston. It's not like they're a full runaway winner. I mean, they. Yeah, they are. Never mind.
yeah.
They're 17 points up on Toronto. I thought Toronto was a little closer, but
no.
How about Toronto? 7-3 in their last 10, and they lose 4 points of ground to Boston.
Right, you're winning and still losing ground. All right, Steve, we're gonna finish off tonight with the Pacific. The Golden Knights plus 160. My dark horse, LA Kings, at plus 275 now. The Kraken plus 350. And the Oilers at plus 425. Like I've been saying, pretty much the whole week, Oilers may be your sensible play. But I'm going to stick to my guns here, and I'm rooting for LA to win this division this year. So I'm hopping on the train with the Kings, and we're going to see where that train goes. What do you think?
These numbers are staggered at the different books for sure, but relatively close to what you said. I think the Kings and the Oilers, I think you take a shot on. The Oilers, defensively, they scare me to death. The Kings, they said it. They traded Quick away. They declared their goaltender situation for sure. So that's a confident team, the Kings. They play well. They play well on the road. So We say you want to keep fading the Knights, but they haven't played. They've been playing their best.
Right.
They've been playing their best lately. Can they continue that? Is the question.
I reckon we're gonna find out.
I reckon we're gonna find out. Is Calgary too far back?
I think so.
9 points at 43-1.
I see them fighting for the wild card, but the way that division's kind of, the way it's kind of fallen into place, I think they're a little bit behind there in that race.
Okay, so if you want to take the Rangers and Calgary to make supercharges, two teams to fly up and close the season strong to win, $10 wins you $11,000 on that parlay.
Wow. Not bad. I mean, for $10, why not?
You're almost priced in, right?
Almost.
Well, you throw a couple $10 on them straight, and if you win one, then you're paying for everything else and making a nice little
for sure
$200, $400 profit.
Absolutely.
And you could be flushing that money down at the 7-Eleven for sure.
All right, Steve, what's your picks tonight? What you got going on?
All right, I think we'll keep it simple, Dave. I think we'll let me scroll back to the games here. I think I'll take the Rangers over 3.5 goals for their team total. I think I'll take Toronto over 3.5 goals for their team total. And I'll take Carolina over 2.5 goals for their team total.
Nice. I like it. I'm going to go a little bit obscure here, but still kind of keeping it simple, I think. Going under 2.5 goals against for Igor Shesterkin. We're going to go over 5.5 there in the Carolina Golden Knights game. And then we're going to round out the evening with the Alex Ovechkin prop, and that is going to be over 4.5 goal or over 4.5 shots on goal for the evening. All right, well, that is going to do it for us here in the Deep End Studio. What the puck is going on? We have like I said, we've been a little spoiled this week, Steve. Pretty good slate tomorrow, too.
Oh, yeah, big slate tomorrow night. Friday night, only 5 games. Saturday is a full card, and then Sunday, just 5 games, and then we'll be back Monday with a 6-packer.
Indeed. And then we'll go over the standings.
Next Wednesday's a little light, just 3 games there.
Right.
And really only one of the games is good.
Right. So that figures to probably be a pretty quick show there. All right. Well, if you have any tickets, as always, we wish you the best of luck with them. If you're tuning in, listening, watching, we sure do appreciate it. We hope we're at least helping a little bit. That's going to do it for us this evening. We'll see you back here 6 p.m. tomorrow night. Everybody, have a good evening.